why most wholesalers fail. And, why you are not getting the results that you probably think you deserve, right? Right? You want to be here, you're currently there. So, how do you start getting success? How do you start actually making a ton of money in this business or just having some momentum? Because you're going to notice from most people in wholesaling that momentum is always there after the first, second, or third deal, right? So once they get the third deal, it's all over, right? They're going to start crushing it, right? And that's the main issue I see with most wholesalers, right? They go out here and struggle, and what in the world's going on? But the first deal is always going to be the hardest for most people. And the reason why most people fail in wholesaling, especially starting out, is it's really going to be three things. It's number one, volume. I think by far the fastest way people really struggle in this business is going to be a lack of volume. They just can't get the volume out there. Now, volume always comes from two things, right? It's because you don't have enough time or you're just not doing enough physical effort or work. And that one's the most depressing, honestly. And the reason why it sucks the most is because you don't have the time to do the volume. And so the solution there is to go out here and do volume that is the most effective, right? So if you only have 1 to 2 hours, right, the best in a week, let's say you have 5 hours in a week, right? The only way you are going to start doing wholesaling real estate deals right now is if you start reverse throwing for dollars, digital bandit signs, email blasting. Because it only takes 15, 20 minutes to do digital bandit signs correctly. It might take you 20, 30 minutes to do email blasting, but you're going to do the same amount of work as it takes someone to do 3 hours. Now, if you do have the time, obviously calling, texting is going to be the best thing. But for most people starting out, the volume is going to be the main issue. Now, if you're coming in here and you're struggling with volume, right? Volume is the reason why you suck right now. You just cannot make enough calls. You cannot make enough texts. The main reason is it's all about just the numbers. And if you want to make more money, you increase the numbers. Now, a lot of people, they'll call for 2 or 3 hours and they'll say, oh, I'm so tired. I don't know if I can do it anymore. This is just so brutal for me. Oh my gosh. And the thing is, your brain kind of has this governor inside where it gets used to certain types of work. Now, what I mean by this is if you cold call for 2 hours a day, and then let's say on the next Monday you cold call for 3 hours, you're going to think it is the most brutal, worst possible thing you've ever done. You're going to be crying. You're going to say, oh, this is so bad. I can't ever become successful. This sucks. When the honest dang truth here is if you cold called 5 hours a day and then on a Monday you cold called 3 hours, you'd be like, wow, that was really easy. And the best way I could describe this is if you ever go running or something like that, because if you run, I don't know, 5 miles a day and then you run 3 miles, you're like, this is easy, but you run 3 miles you never ran before, it's brutal, right? And so that's the number one part is going to be the volume game. And either you don't have enough time, which if you're a young guy, I really don't believe. You definitely have enough time. Look at your screen time. You could definitely eliminate these excuses. The next one I've seen is knowledge. I think a lot of people in here have that knowledge issue where it's like, I don't know what to do. And we see it in the Discord all the time. Like, oh my gosh, how do I find buyers? How do I just go to freewholesaling.com. We teach it. But also, it's like you could just know somebody with knowledge, right? There's plenty of people in the chat right here that have so much knowledge about wholesaling real estate. They have everything you need to know to start getting wholesaling deals. That is it. They everything in their brain, literally everything in their brain, they have to help you become successful. If you just talk to somebody making $100,000 a year in wholesaling every single day, I promise you, you will be way more successful than somebody who just doesn't do it. And it's like I always say, it's like the two boats. Both boats kind of change course a little bit. First couple miles, it's not bad, but over time, it just keeps growing wider and wider and wider. And so this is where you're at right now in your business. You just don't have the knowledge. And so you either acquire the knowledge from going through the course, but there's also another part of knowledge that comes from just talking to experienced, successful wholesalers doing deals. And it's very nuanced, but once you start getting around people that are high performing, that are actually making a lot of money in this business, I'm telling you right now, that's how you start making a ton of money. And then from there, world's your oyster. Now, the next part here is going to be mindset. And this one's the one that is, in my opinion, the easiest one because we just kind of work in good old boy times. Back in the 1400s, everybody was either working on a farm and they were just basically doing an agricultural society. And what you did was you worked 15 hours a day and you never made excuses and you took Sundays off. That was life. You know, I mean, really the past 100 years, you know, that's pretty much it. Everything before that, most people worked 13, 14, 15 hours a day. The 9 to 5 was not a common thing, all right? And so everyone just worked 14, 15 hours a day, unless you're a king or some crazy thing, right? And so you telling me that you feel burnt out at work, what do you think happened to someone in 1214, you know, in medieval times, and they were a serf working the farms for the feudal lord? What do you think they said if they felt burnt out? You got to work, okay? And so this whole burnt out thing, I don't really prescribe to that at all. You know, somebody told me this week that they feel like this market sucked, like this certain market sucked. I'm like, I don't prescribe to that theory because I do a lot of deals in that market. That's the craziest part about this business, right? If you go out here and just really switch your mindset of how you think about deals, I promise you, everything starts changing. And so let's kind of look at it like this, right? If you go out here in wholesaling and you think that the market's good, you can do it, you can become successful, you are way more likely to have success than somebody who's going out here and says, oh, this market sucks, it ain't gonna work. It's a rose-colored glasses versus just black, dark, the world's terrible colored glasses. Why is it the person that thinks they're going to become successful always does it? Earl Nightingale said this, but if whoever you want to be, you must act and think like that person. And so everyone says, oh, I want to be just like Zach. It's like, well, do you want to think like Zach? Or do you just want to be like me? Do you want Zach's money, or do you want to work as hard as me, right? That's the way you got to start looking at it. And so if we could fix the volume issue, the knowledge issue, and the mindset issue, you're going to be fine. But my advice for anybody starting out right now is I would just find somebody in your market, someone in your market, virtual, in person, whatever, right, that is making a ton of money wholesaling. And then what I would personally do is just me. I would just figure out what they're doing and just do exactly that. So if they are calling 5 hours a day and they're making 30 grand a month, do it. Do the exact same thing. No joke. No joke. Because if somebody has a formula in wholesaling that's working, you just do the same formula. Wholesaling is I love fishing, right? I always look at wholesaling and fishing in very similar terms. I know it doesn't sound the best, but they're very, very, very similar. Because sometimes it's not about how good of a fisherman you are, you just got to be in the right pond. And a lot of people are very skilled, but I'll be straight up with them, right? They're just in the wrong pond, right? Or they suck, but they're in the right pond and they're crushing it. And so if you have a guy, he has this little honey hole, right, for fishing, and if you go there, you'll probably catch fish if that's where he's going, right? And a lot of people like to pretend in wholesaling, and same thing in fishing, that they own something, right? I own this fishing spot. This is my lake. Do you own the lake? No, you don't. So I'm going to fish here. So a lot of people think that their method of wholesaling, you know, me calling code violations and putting sticky notes, I own that method. You don't. Okay, there's no legal precedent in the United States that you own that method, right? And you know how many people have attacked me? You know, I've been attacked very, very much about posting on Facebook to find wholesaling deals. I invented that. No, Rick did that before you were even in high school, bro. Okay? You know, finding deals on Facebook, and then we have that book in the other studio, How Real Estate Fortunes Are Made, from George Bockel. He teaches how to find wholesaling deals on newspapers and find cash buyers on newspapers, right? And it's always funny. That guy was learning from the 70s. It's like you don't really own, you know, this whole like method of that, right? And same thing in wholesaling, right? If someone's having success there, just do what they're doing. No joke. Okay, chances are you're probably smarter than that person, so go up there and become successful. So that's my advice for pretty much anyone out here in wholesaling that is just struggling right now. Just do what successful people do. Same thing, guys, I give this advice for anything. This works for anything in life, all right? So if you are not jacked, you want to get some muscles and be ripped, okay, go find somebody in the gym that's ripped that you want to look like them. Make sure they don't take steroids. You know, obviously everyone knows that I'm roided to the gills, but just kidding. But basically, if you find someone that's jacked and they're like, not on steroids or whatever, it's like, okay, well, tell me what exactly you do, and I'm going to work out with you. I'm going to eat the same exact thing as you do. I promise you, if you eat, sleep, and work out just like that person, you have a way better shot than just trying to figure it all yourself. And this is usually a pitch where I say, well, then join my coaching program and pay me it's not that, okay? There's so many successful wholesalers in here that if you just kind of use their method, and the best part about this is you can copy somebody's method and they'll actually give you the whole blueprint. Now you might be like, Zach, what do you mean? Well, if somebody in this group, in this Discord, right, and they're making, I don't know, 30 grand a month in Kansas City, and you live in, let's say you live in Allentown, Pennsylvania, hey, Mr. Kansas City guy, what are you doing to get rich and successful? Oh, you're in Allentown? Okay, well, this is what I do. He has he doesn't think you're going to go kill his market. And if you tell him, hey, I'm not going to go in your market, he said, oh, this is what's working for me. Okay, great. I'm going to do that, but in Allentown. It's kind of like franchising, right? If I opened up a Chick-fil-A in Billing, Montana, do you think it would make money? Yes or no? Yes, it will. Because it's already a proven model. The chicken sandwiches are insane. We can all agree that, okay? The mac and cheese is on a whole different level, all right? The mac and cheese on a whole different level right here, all right? No joke, okay? And so if I bring that into Montana, we're going to crush it. I've been begging for an In-N-Out burger to go to Florida. I promise you, if they make an In-N-Out burger in Florida, I'm going there 3 times a week, all right? In-N-Out burger is going to be the only thing stopping me from looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But it's a proven formula that if you do it in this market in Florida, you'll crush it. In-N-Out burger is amazing. A lot of people will hate me on that, right? And so that's what I'd be doing, okay? I mean, I'll be straight up with you. If you told me, Zach, you had to make a restaurant business, but you got to copy somebody, right? And they can't sue you. I would make a Chick-fil-A and I would open it on Sundays. Chick-fil-A Sundays. And that is honestly what I do. I just do a Chick-fil-A Sundays. It's only open on Sundays. It's a Chick-fil-A that's only open on Sundays. Crush it. And so you guys just don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know how many millionaires just make McDonald's franchises all day? Come on. So dang simple and easy. And so that is my advice for anyone looking to get rich and successful wholesaling. Hit the volume, get the knowledge, get the mindset. If you want to learn wholesaling real estate, obviously there's so many people in their Discord. I'd go to freewholesaling.com, learn how to wholesale houses, and that's how I'd be crushing it.